What is one thing you could do just to make your life a little bit better and probably harder at the same time? Don't lie. Just don't lie at all. So I guess firstly is maybe you guys got a lot of stuff to lie about. So the primary thing to do is to first don't do things that you need to lie about or keep secret. So that'd be the primary thing. That way you don't even have things to lie about. The next thing is lying, right? So let's say you don't have things to lie about, so you don't have to lie about them anymore. So that's a good thing. But there's going to be other people around you that maybe you feel compelled to lie to. Maybe it's an employer, maybe it's wife, maybe it's girlfriend, maybe it's family members. So here's what you're going to do instead. Don't lie. Just tell them what it is. And sometimes that thing is going to suck. It's going to suck big time. There was one particular instance that I had. I'm not going to disclose exactly what it is, but it was one of those instances. I was having a conversation with my wife, and it was a huge topic. There's actually been a bunch of huge topics, but anyway, this a couple of them have been huge topics, but this one kind of struck me because it was a difficult one to kind of hurdle through, where I didn't lie, and she asked me a question. I said exactly to a T what it was, and I didn't lie, and that was tough. That was a tough one. That was definitely a tough one. But when you don't lie and you just stop lying, you start to have things to stand on. You have principles. The other thing too about not lying or lying, let's talk about lying. So a lot of times, guys especially will lie to their girlfriends or wives, and they're lying to compromise their beliefs, to quote unquote protect their girlfriend or their wife or whatever, a kid or something like that. And that's a poor thing to do. That's a poor decision to make. It would just be rather easier. I know it doesn't seem easier to probably a lot of you guys to just say what it is. And if it's something that you shouldn't be talking about, just say, not going to talk about that. That's the end of it. So what I do in situation, my wife might ask me, hey, what'd you guys talk about at men's group night? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Do you think this person does that? I just don't say. You just don't say. Like, that's, just between guys. That's what, that's it. So I don't say either way. And she has no way of knowing, not in like a deceitful way, but she has no way of knowing what it is. So that's one thing you can do. And I believe 100% in sacred spaces, right? So if you have your marriage is a sacred space. Your relationship with your kids is a sacred space. Like your relationship with guys that you trust is a sacred space. And if it's not, you can't trust these guys then. That's not good. It's a defect in their character. And if your marriage is not a sacred space, then that's actually on you, man. You should probably start correcting that. So just don't lie at all. It makes life a whole lot better, because then also too, you're not compromising your principles. So a lot of guys will lie to their wives or their girlfriends about, principle stuff. How they feel about a certain subject, their views on something, especially when it comes down to religion, sex, stuff like that. Just don't lie. Just don't lie. Just stand on your beliefs, because when you lie, you're compromising your beliefs. You're giving away a piece of you. You're saying, I'm not actually a principled human being anyway. Usually those things come to light because you end up being inconsistent in other ways that you live. So just don't do it. Just say what it is. It's not that scared. Like, if they ask you, like, I don't believe in that, or I believe in this, or whatever it might be, like, you could have some reasons why. Okay? So you don't need to compromise yourself. The other thing, too, is if you guys are lying in your most sacred relationship with your wife, and that's what I'm primarily getting at, and a lot of guys do it, then your relationship starts to get based on lies. The other thing, too, to think about, guys, is when you lie, what do you become? A liar. It's like a thief steals, right? You're a robber. Lying is like, it makes you a liar. Like, no one can trust your word. And if you think your lies are going to be kept secret forever, they're not. They'll come to light eventually. That's how these things usually go. And that'll just make you a big fat liar, because maybe you lied and kept that a lying secret for a long, long time, and now you are in a pickle. So don't lie. And what do you do about liars? People that are lying to you. I think you treat those people very cautiously, because now you know if they lie to you, they're liars. They have a character deficiency. And I mean, you could be charitable under those circumstances and understand that they have a character deficiency. Also see it as a weakness. Like, those people have like a weakness. Some people lie because they are cowards. They have a character weakness. Like, they're unprincipled human beings. And you could try to help those folks in some ways, but you can also just understand that they're cowardly, and they have and they're liars, and they have a tendency to lie, and their character is 100% flawed. So you can understand those things. Like, you could start to see people for who they are, what they are, and their principles. And those are the type of people that you gotta always you can't fully trust, and you shouldn't. It's good to know those things. It's good to know those things about people. There are only a handful of people that you're going to come across that are truly, truly going to be like great folks, that don't lie, that are principled, that say what the truth is, that speak cautiously and charitably about other folks. And you're gonna see that, and you gravitate towards those people. Start to mold your lives towards those people. In my life, I always want, for the longest time, when I was kind of shaken off being a degenerate, I wanted to be amongst people that were better than me, because they could kind of help me be better. So I looked up to a lot of those folks, and some of those folks I knew in person. Some other people I knew like through, watching stuff on YouTube, right? Like, you could kind of get the character of people and how they operate because of they're not lying, they're principled, blah blah blah. You know how it goes. But you want people that are gonna accelerate you. And here's what happens when you start accelerating: the degenerates that you were hanging out with before, they start falling away. And some of them fall away just, on their own. Some of them kind of like, oh man, like, what's wrong with you? Changed. Like, ugh. Like, I can't be around. Because when they're around you, it kind of shows their flaws. It shows you're kind of getting out of those flaws. And then, the progression is once you start getting principled and you're not lying, you just say what it is. A lot of people have a lot of questions for you how you live your life, because you start living very differently than everybody else, like real quick. And this won't take long for a lot of you guys. Your principled life will start to change the people around you, because they're going to ask you serious questions about serious topics, because they know that they could trust the words that come out of your mouth. And they know you're not going to lie. You're not going to deceive them. You're not going to be deceitful. You're not going to hang out with other people that are deceitful. Like you might have them like, kind of in a sphere, like on the outside perimeters, because whatever, the coworkers, um, even bosses, even people that are under you, but you're going to know that they're deceitful and they're liars, and you're going to kind of question, in your minds what their motives are. But it's good. It's good to know the cowardice of people, I guess you could say, because lying is, I think, a cowardice type of thing. That's what cowardly people do. That's what unprincipled people do. Lastly, the other thing that you'll find is when you start, kind of leaving degeneracy and getting better and better and better, after a couple of years of that, all of a sudden, a bunch of folks, not a bunch, but like a handful, will come up and start asking you questions and wanting to better themselves, because all of a sudden, like, you became a couple levels ahead of them. And those are guys that are genuinely looking to make a change. And I think it should only be guys, right? I think guys should hang out with other guys and kind of, steel sharpens steel, so to speak. And that'll start to happen. And women will do this in their own, social circles too. Women who are liars hang out with other liars, and, guys who are degenerate hang out with other degenerates, and you can kind of birds of a feather stick together. So here's what I suggest, guys. Stop lying and stop doing things that you would have to lie about. So that means maybe you got to give up some vices and things of that nature, and that way you don't have to lie about those things to begin with. And then you got to stop lying and have some principles. And whenever you have that spirit of lying kind of trickle up inside of you, tap it down, just tell the truth, shine some light on it, and that's it. So that's all I got for you guys today. Out.